Welcome to Current Chatter, the place where we dive into the latest news and happenings going on around the world. Join mother and son duo Kota and Losa as they engage in lively debates over current affairs and anything else that sparks a discussion. With diverse perspectives and a bit of fun, you never know what topics will come up next. Tune in every Friday afternoon for your weekly dose of Current Chatter. Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday afternoon. You know what that means? It's time for Current Chatter with Losa and Kota. How you doing today, Kota?
Doing good up until I got my water shut off at my house because I don't pay attention to the details as much as I should.
Eek. Well, here's some advice. Are you ready? About getting your water turned off. It happens to everyone at some point.
Yeah? You think so? Does it really?
Yeah, give yourself some grace. It happens to everybody at least once in their life. They'll get their water, their power, their something turned off.
See, and I don't remember that you guys ever letting that happen to us.
Yes.
You just didn't tell us?
No, of course not. That wasn't something you needed to worry yourself about. That was me and the dad problem.
Yeah.
But it happens to everybody. Just fix it and move forward.
Yeah, the bill's paid, and I paid the bill after hours, so we'll probably get it turned on tomorrow. I just don't know what the next steps are. Do I call? Should I just wait?
Well, I would definitely call. One of the times that I did it, I had to call, and they had to set up a special guy to come out to turn it back on. So
and I read online that I could turn it on myself. Should I just go turn it on?
No. That's against the law, I think. I'm pretty sure that's against the law.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. Real mom advice.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
That just makes me think of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
How about you, Mama? How's your week been?
Wonderful. I got my new teeth.
Ooh, they look so good.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it. It actually feels like they might be good this time.
They might be good?
Yeah. We'll wait and see. The jury's still out. Here's the problem, is that now that I have them in there and they sit different, I've been clenching my jaw for about 2 days, and my mouth is killing me.
You need, like, gum or something.
Something. But I haven't been able to chew gum because of the dentures.
Can you not chew gum with dentures?
No, it doesn't work out really well.
I guess I could see that. Your self-adhesive doesn't adhere well.
Yeah, it would just stick to the yeah, that would be bad. It would be a bad situation.
I don't know where my algorithm got off on TikTok, so I've stopped watching TikTok for a little while, but I watched a guy go to eat, I don't know, like a pulled pork sandwich, and his teeth fell out, and he just kind of shoved them back in and kept eating, and then took his teeth out and cleaned his teeth with his tongue. I was like, my goodness, I just need to turn off TikTok. I think it's been 3 days since I've got on TikTok.
Because it turned on you.
It did.
TikTok turned on you.
Yeah, I know, right?
I have fallen down some TikTok rabbit holes. Trust me. But not so to the point where it's I should turn this off for a little bit.
See, and I mainly use TikTok for recipes. I get a lot of my good recipes from TikTok.
I've learned a lot of stuff from TikTok, like how to clean a garbage disposal.
You didn't know how to do that? Isn't it just ice and when I clean mine, I do ice and soap and vinegar with a little bit of baking soda.
Oh yeah, see, I just do ice, but yes, I learned that off of TikTok, and I probably taught you how to do it because that's where I learned how to do it.
Well, TikTok came after the fact that I moved out of your house, so
I don't think that might not be it.
Yeah, I don't think you can You did teach me how to install a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Because the one at your house was installed by yours truly, and you wouldn't let Dad live that down for years, it feels like. Good.
Yeah, no.
Because hadn't you asked Dad to replace it, and he said I'd get to it, and then you finally got sick of him saying I'd get to it?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how it happened.
So you said, I'm going to fucking do it myself.
Or make little Kota do it for me.
I think I just helped you. You read instructions, and I put it together. I think that's how it happened. Which is how I put together anything in my house. I have to have someone just read me instructions, and I'm good to go.
That's funny because that's me and your dad. He's the instruction reader. I'm kind of like the fly by the seat of your pants gal.
Like, I just make top ramen. No, your dad, every night he has top ramen. Not that he has top ramen every night, but every night that he does have top ramen,
Hmm.
he reads the instructions like, first of all, they're going to change. Second, he wants to make sure
Like they're
that,
not written in stone somewhere.
right, he
Top
needs to
ramen's
make
never
sure that
changed.
he's doing it right and follows the written instructions on how to make top ramen. I'm like, put water in a pan and then you put the little packet in, and he's like, no, 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 follow the instructions.
Here's what I will say. I will get hammered and crave Dad's top ramen. So maybe he's got something that we don't all have because he's reading the instructions.
You know what is strange is, you know what he's done the last couple of nights that's made me kind of gag a little.
Uh-oh.
He's made hot dogs and then used the hot dog water to make top ramen, and
Oh.
it makes me a little sick to my stomach.
Oh. Would that be good?
But he says that it is an unacquired taste.
That's actually like the perfect segue for one of my stories. And
Perfect.
we're just gonna get into it, and I'm just gonna tell you all about it. So, do you know who Sidney Sweeney is?
The actress?
Yes.
That is all I know, is that she's a blonde actress.
And she's drop dead gorgeous. And there's like this little bit of a cult following with Sydney right now.
Okay.
But she grouped together with the Dr. Squatch bars of soap. And you know
Okay.
Dr. Squatch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a commercial of her sitting in a bathtub talking about this new scent. And they decided to make a full line of soap made from her bathwater.
Yuck.
And they're selling it for $8 a piece.
I don't think that's enough. I personally don't think that's enough money. Like, if you were going to make my bathwater something special,
There actually was a cult leader. I can't remember who it was, but he sold his bathwater to his followers for I can't remember how much. Oh, let me look it up. Okay, what cult leader sold bathwater? Oh, this isn't the one I was thinking of. But there's another gal, Belly Dolphin, gained notoriety for selling jars of her bathwater. She made over 90 grand.
Lord,
Japanese.
I understand that. Like,
Oh, here it is. A Japanese cult accused of carrying out 1995 nerve gas attacks on Tokyo subway once raised money by selling mouthfuls of blood to its followers.
mouthfuls.
That's what it says. It says by selling mouthfuls of blood to its followers. And he also sold bathtub water.
That is really bizarre. So Dr. Squatch now is selling Sidney Sweeney bathwater soap.
Yep. Yeah. So in the article, she says, when your fans start asking for your bathwater, you can ignore it or turn it into a bar of Dr. Squatch soap. Sydney said in a press release, it's weird in the best way. I love that we created something that is not just unforgettable. It actually smells incredible and delivers like every other Dr. Squatch product I've come to love. Hopefully this helps the guys wake up to the realities of conventional personal care products and push them towards natural.
I'd like to see the ingredients in Squatch's soap.
Yeah, look it up. It's called Sydney's Bathwater Bliss. It's formulated with Sydney's used bathwater, foliaxing sand, pine bark extract, and contains notes of pine, Douglas fir, and moss. So basically, it smells like the great outdoors, a place that someone buying this soap has likely never visited. That's just funny. Oh, that's great. No, there's no playbook for turning Sidney Sweetie's actual bathwater into a bar of soap. That's exactly what we did. Said John Luke, Dr. Squat's SVP of Global Marketing. We thrive on ideas that make you laugh and encourage you to pay attention to the ingredients in your personal care products. The bar is bizarre, unexpected, and intended to get guys to think more deeply about the ingredients in the products they put on their bodies.
So you're scrubbing yourself. The soap is being advertised for men, but it's a female body. It's a female bathwater. Female
It is.
bathwater.
They also said that the people that are getting this bar of soap have probably never smelled a woman.
So So they could make it smell like anything they want.
Absolutely. Isn't that just the wildest shit ever?
Yeah, I'm looking it up there. Yeah. Wow. All it says is right now they're entering a giveaway. So they're not enter for a chance to win the only brick made with Sidney Sweeney's very own bathwater.
What? That's not what the article says. Did I find some fake news? Bathwater bliss. Well, you can make so much more soap from a bathtub of water, right? I've never made soap. Soap doesn't take that much fucking water, does it?
Depends. Depends on how much water you want to put in your soap.
Honestly, they probably didn't put any of her water in there, and they just said that they did.
Right. Exactly. I'm with you on that.
So you're on the website. Can you order it at all? Or is it just the brick?
It's just a brick of that they're giving away.
We're going to have to follow it and see who gets that brick.
You should put in for it then.
Fuck no. I just couldn't pay my water bill. I just got my water shut off. You think I need to buy some other bitch's bathwater?
Oh, it's too funny. True. It's very true.
All right, Mama, what you got for me today?
Well, I don't know if you heard about that beautiful town. There's a tiny town, only 400 people live in it, in Sweden, in the Swiss Alps. And the glacier fell and crashed and destroyed the town.
Oh,
they
shit.
said it took out 95% of the town. They'd evacuated everyone from
so they
the
knew
town.
it was going to fall. It wasn't a surprise?
Yeah, about
Okay.
4 weeks ago. And it finally just crashed down and it didn't kill anybody. They said that there was one missing man, but I think when I was pulling it up for the podcast tonight, they said that they suspended the search for him, so I'm not sure what that meant.
It was probably the old cranky guy that was like, you can't get me to leave my house. I've
Right.
been here since 1922. You can't get me to fucking leave.
Exactly. But they were like going off and on about how the reason for the collapse of the glacier is because of global warming, which I've actually never asked you what your thoughts on global warming are.
I mean, all the proof is in the pudding.
What does that mean?
Our glaciers are dying. Things
Are
are
they?
melting glaciers are melting at a faster rate and the ocean is rising. I totally think global warming is real. Wait, do you not think global warming is real?
I'm one of those people who don't believe it's real.
Why?
Well, why do you believe it?
I just gave you a reason why I thought it was real. What is your argument to my reason?
That it's never been more cold on the planet than it is right now. It's
This
never
planet
been
is hot as shit.
right, but it's colder than it was 800 years ago. So we're actually in a
But you realize that 800 years ago, we didn't have anything to measure the way we do now. So that
Yeah.
argument is invalid. You just said 800 years ago, like, it's hotter now. But that's because 800 years ago, we had nothing to measure the temperature.
Okay, you do have a point there.
What the fuck?
Score for one for Dakota.
I've gotten a couple.
But I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a big believer in the
Do you think the earth is flat?
no, Dakota. I do not believe the earth is flat.
Okay, next week, let's do some digging. You try and figure out if global warming is real or not, and I'll try to disprove if it's not real. We'll flip sides and
Okay.
come together and see
Sounds good.
see what we get into. You really don't think, are you fucking with me, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Really?
But next week we'll figure it all out.
All right. We're going to solve this global warming crisis.
We are the two of us. You and me. All right, what
you
else
really
you
don't
got?
think that?
I really don't think that.
Okay. All right. I'm coming at you fucking hard next week.
You better watch out.
God willing and the creek don't rise, I'm coming at you. The creek will rise because our ocean is rising.
Okay.
I bet you if we had the heat that we have now, the Titanic would have never sank because that glacier wouldn't have fucking been there. Because you know why? Because everything's turning on fire.
Turning on fire. I don't believe that. It's gonna be okay.
Oh, it'll be okay in my lifetime. I don't know about the kids that I'm not gonna have.
That makes me sad.
I know, I'm sorry. I was trying to make you so sad. My bad.
All right, what else we got for me?
All right. So, I wanted to get your take on this. Have you heard about the lady in Georgia who is brain dead?
No.
So, a brain dead pregnant woman is being kept on life support, raising legal questions. A woman in Georgia has been declared brain dead, but she is being kept on life support because she's pregnant. This causes the case is raising complication legal questions about the abortion laws. The abortion laws in Georgia and other states. Wobbs Sam Grinnells has been following the story. Sam goes into detail saying Adrena Smith was about 9 weeks pregnant in February when doctors declared her brain dead. The 30-year-old nurse and mom had suffered a medical emergency, but Smith's families say doctors at Emory University Hospital have been keeping her organs functioning until the fetus has been delivered. They're citing Georgia's law banning most abortions after roughly 6 weeks. Smith's mother, April, spoke to the TV station WXIA. April says, "My grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk. We don't even know if he'll live once she has him. I'm not saying that we would have chosen to terminate her pregnancy, but what I'm saying is we should have had the choice."
So, what about the father of the baby?
It doesn't say anything about the father. So the mother doesn't get to make the choice about the fate of her daughter and her daughter's unborn child. It's been 3 months now because of what the hospital has declared. It is clear that Georgia's abortion law would prevent the hospital from taking Smiths off life support. Well, after the case became public, a Democratic state senator wrote to Georgia's Republican Attorney General Chris Carr asking for clarity here, and his office responded saying there's nothing in Georgia's abortion law that requires a woman to be kept on life support after brain death. That would be because removing life support is not an action done for the purpose of terminating a pregnancy. Seems to have come to a different conclusion. The hospital has not addressed the AG's legal option, but did release a statement last week stating treatment discussions are based on, quote, conscious form, critical experts, medical literature, and legal guidance in compliance with Georgia's abortion laws and other applicant laws.
So my question is I just so she had a medical emergency. She's now brain dead.
I think I read in a different article that she suffered, what's the thing where you get the blood clots in the brain?
Stroke.
It was the stroke, but it's the more, where the blood burst.
Oh, an aneurysm.
Yeah, she had a couple of aneurysms, and that's how she became brain dead.
And so now her parents want to turn off, well, her mother wants to turn off life support, and the state is not allowing her to do that because she's pregnant.
Correct. What it really challenges is body autonomy. Keeping a legally dead person on life support against her family's wishes raises serious concerns about consent and dignity. Andrea can no longer speak for herself, but yet her body is being used to support a pregnancy.
Right. I'm pro-life, and I'm pro-life when it comes at through all of it. But at the same time, wow, there are some situations that may lead to that type of behavior. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and later in the article, it does also state that they don't know what kind of the baby does have some kind of I can't remember what it's called. Let me see if I can find it in here.
Like a genetic thing.
A genetic thing that they don't even know if the baby is going to survive. So it's just like, so the family not only doesn't get to grieve their daughter's loss, but now they're going to have to grieve this infant's loss because they're putting her body through this,
It's a tough one.
It really offends the sacredness of life, too. Like,
yeah.
It's wrong in the sense that it strips.
Here's the thing: is murder is murder. At what point does life begin?
I'm a firm believer that an fetus is like a parasite, and a parasite cannot live without its host's body. And if it's in the best interest to get rid of that parasite, that's what needs to happen.
Oh, see, and I just believe differently in that every life is God breathed life.
Mm-hmm.
And that means the moment of conception, a life is formed.
But it's also like keeping her on life support against her family's wishes and possibly her own turns her body into something transitional. That's not respect of life. That's control. They're just controlling this this human's.
They definitely are controlling it, and they definitely have a narrative that they're following in order to continue with this horrible behavior. I think that that's a tough one.
There's a fundamental line being crossed here. That's what it comes down to. And like I when I read the article, the doctors had made it seem like it was in the best interest of the child also to terminate the pregnancy.
See, I don't know, Boo. I can't.
When you're not listening to professionals in that medical field, there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
I guess they do call it medical practice because they're always practicing. There's always something advancing in the medical field. But as a medical professional, you should always be in step or a step ahead of that practice. And I'm saying practice with air quotations because, like I said, it's a practice and they should always be one step ahead. You know, do you see what I'm trying to say here? Like,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But when stuff like this happens and they want to take away life, the people get involved and it becomes political. And I don't think, Dakota, and this might be, not right of me since I'm so far right. Like, life happens for a reason. If she was supposed to have passed, maybe she was supposed to have passed with that baby.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she wasn't supposed to carry this baby to full term, so why are we draining her essence and making her suffer this way? And making the family suffer? Because the doctors even said they don't know if this baby's going to live. And who's going to have to pay for that? The family is.
Yeah, you're right. Murder's murder to me. Even if it's a life that is a small life that hasn't done anything yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand why. Does that make sense? It's hard for me because up until the last 10 years, I was totally pro-choice. Like, so pro-choice. I would have screamed from the rafters about the ability to choose and the right to your body, your rights.
And I think that's what boggles my mind about the switch that you have had in the last several years about being pro-life is you were always so pro-choice. And that's what, obviously I am pro-choice. It should be a person's choice of what they do to their body, you know.
But as a born-again Christian, life is life and murder is murder. And if they choose to take that baby away tomorrow via an abortion because she wasn't going to survive or something.
Would it be an abortion at that point? All they need to do is turn off the life support and the baby just dies. And it's just dead.
It's a tough one.
I don't think it's right. I
don't think it's right either, what they're doing to this poor woman. I definitely don't think this is right. But it does, open conversation for, when does life begin and what's the importance of life. And, you never know. That baby may be born completely whole and be president of the United States in 40 years.
It might be better than the one we have now.
I knew you were going to say that. It's too funny. I'm like, a Trump joke's coming up next. But yeah, you just never know, Boo.
I don't know.
I desperately want a grandchild, but I'm not willing to sell you or Justin out to get one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And right is right and wrong is wrong.
So let's say that one of mine or Justin's partners got assaulted and became pregnant after the assault. How would you feel about it if they decided to terminate that baby because that baby was always going to be a reminder of that horrible experience?
I would say that it's not my choice. It's their choice.
Wait. Was that a pro-life?
But I still believe it's murder. I would forever miss that child.
Where does that life start? Does it start at conception? Does it start at the heartbeat? Does it start at, like, when you can walk around? Like,
at conception.
But you don't have a heartbeat at conception.
I don't care. Dakota, as a mom, my connection to you and to Justin didn't start. How do I want to put this? My love for you guys is beyond the conception rule. You know what I mean? I would never hurt you or Justin. Having said that, I'm not sure what point I'm trying to
I think what you're trying to say is that you had already had a connection to us before you knew you were pregnant.
Exactly.
But what about these children that are cases of assault? They're not going to get that mother's love. They're definitely not going to get daddy's love because
I don't know, like there are millions of people who want to adopt.
But do you know how hard it is to adopt? Do you know the loopholes you have to go through to adopt?
I don't because I've never even, well, I did look into it once. Me and your dad, just brief, it was like a hiccup in time, that they had Samoan babies from orphanages in Samoa.
A Samoan baby would have been so cute.
Right? That's what I said, and that's about as far as I got.
Yeah. But it takes a long time to adopt, and it's so flooded with children right now that why keep adding to the bucket when the bucket's already full?
Because a life is a life.
I'm gonna pull a Miss Pat quote here and say, "Fuck them kids." It's your choice, and I think what they're doing is inherently wrong. I don't agree with it at all. They're not allowing this person to make these decisions. The family has given the fetus a nickname. The nickname is Chance. It was diagnosed with dicrophalmus that may result in severe disabilities or early deaths. So the trauma continues, and the outcome remains heartbreaking no matter what.
Yes, no one wins. No one is going to win this fight. The baby's not going to win. The mom's not going to win. The parents aren't going to win. This is what you call a no-win situation when lives are on the line. And that's just really unfortunate that people want to politicize it.
Yeah. But it needs to be talked about right now with the Roe versus Wade being overturned the way it was. It just I cut off so much, not even abortions, but just medical treatments for people like that.
And it did do, some stuff.
No, say what you're going to say. You're the political guru between the two of us.
I was going to agree with you in that some of the stuff that Planned Parenthood did, me and my girlfriends went to Planned Parenthood and we all got on the pill at the same time not because we had boyfriends, but because we wanted to be prepared just in case. Planned Parenthood was where I could go without needing a parent's signature.
Yep.
To get on birth control. I know of the good that Planned Parenthood does.
I feel a butt coming. There's no butt.
No butt.
Planned Parenthood is really this resource that not everybody takes the time to utilize. I've got, when we go to Pride every year, we stop at the Planned Parenthood, and they've got Narcan samples you can take. So if someone's overdosing at my house, I have the right medical supplies. They hand out condoms, they hand out brochures, and it's not just this abortion clinic that people think it is. Planned Parenthood is so much more, and it does so much good for underprivileged people. It also does a lot for our LGBTQIA plus community. It gives these people a safe place to figure their shit out. And
I think it's important for the younger generation and the just coming up generation to have access to that. When I was growing up, I did not have access to any kind of personal autonomy kind of doctors. My parents told me what I would do and what I would say and where I was, you know what I mean?
And that's a big thing that this story brings up is this woman who's brain dead has no autonomy to her body. She has having your own autonomy is so crucial and vital that you're taking that away by these decisions people are making for us, and they don't have the right to make these decisions for us. And that's why I'm so pro-life. I have no say in what happens in a woman's body. None at all. I don't know I had a friend say that she had a UTI and was she took honey and vinegar. And I instantly thought, you shot that into your cooter? You just took you shot, and she's like, no, you dumb fuck, I drank it. That just shows how much I don't know about the female anatomy. So why do I, as a man, get to make these decisions for women? I don't know fuck all about it. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why these women should have these choices. And I respect where you're coming from in this, but we don't need people that aren't women making these decisions for women. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with that, Coda. And it might be going against some of my right, counter talkers or whatever. I really believe that early care for females results in, less likelihood of getting an STD. STDs that we were getting back in the 90s caused cervical cancer in the 2000s for women. All they said is it takes a shot now so that you aren't susceptible to that STD.
You're talking about HPV, right?
HPV, exactly. Yeah. And so you get that shot and then you don't get it and you're not going to die of cancer. Yeah. But I think that showing it's tough because my belief system is that, maybe saving yourself until marriage is a good idea.
When you go to buy a car, do you test drive the car?
Right.
Yeah. So why would I want to be married to someone who doesn't know how to fuck?
Dakota. You got to take a serious conversation and go, what the?
But that's my argument to it, and I respect people who choose to do that. That is their choice, and I am all for them having their choice. But what I'm getting is this is taking away someone's choice.
Yeah, I agree.
And I also don't know how old these parents are of the gal who is brain dead. They may be in their 60s or 70s. They don't have the wherewithal to take care of a possibly disabled child. So it's going to have that child. The child's going to go in the system and get lost.
Yep. I agree with you.
It's just not right.
Has Rin watched the last of the Handmaid's Tales yet?
I don't know. You want me to ask him?
I thought they said that they had watched it and they asked me for what I thought about it.
Okay, hold on. Let me go grab them. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey, Rin, do you have a minute? You're being requested in here. They're coming.
Aye.
Plop on down in the pilot's chair, my love. Okay, Mom, they can hear you now.
All right. So what did you think?
I feel like it closed a lot of loops. Like there was a lot of different, it's 1,000,001 different people's stories.
Right.
And it closed a lot of loops and, hit a lot of things. I definitely wish it gave us Hannah.
Yes. That was my biggest complaint.
Yeah. No, and and somebody else had said also the girl who was the girl that had like her and her old ass husband had taken them in. She was like the person in charge of a homestead, like when all the girls had escaped.
Oh, okay.
She like later in the show it shows her like becoming a handmaid after that and just being like handcuffed to a bed. Somebody was like really wishing that it gave her story like closing too, but people were saying, that it's pretty much like it's all of the people's stories that are forgotten and that is a part of the stories as well. It's not everyone's story, not everyone gets it to be told.
Yeah.
But I feel like they left us wanting Hannah because of the sequel.
Right. But the problem with the sequel for me is that it's set 15 years in advance. 15 years after current stuff. And by then, Hannah would be in her 30s.
Yeah, I think it's going to hit a lot on, like, the trauma that comes with it all, and she's going to have a little sister who is, very little now. So, she's going to be, like a teenager when it is the future stage. And I feel like just because it's set 15 years in the future doesn't mean there's not parts of it that
they can continue with
things in the past. Just because like the stage is set 15 years from now doesn't mean it's not going to show like what happened or what effects there were. But I feel like it gave it
gave us Aunt Lydia and the younger sister, but it just not Hannah.
Right.
And I also found that upsetting. Like I would like even just like a moment, like showing, where she was when the revolution began.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they just ignored that story arc completely in the last. Like, I know that they tied everything else up, like with the plane explosion and stuff, but I think that they could have added something about Hannah
even just
in there.
a glimpse of it, but it very well could be that just like that actress is like done, acting, like
Right.
could be aged out or, doesn't want to do it or, I don't really know, but it even gave us like the girls who are dead now, and showing a different life of what it could have been like if none of it had ever happened.
Right.
Everyone just being in a bar doing karaoke together.
Yeah, I found that really a poignant scene.
Yeah, like it was, it had like a lot of emotion and just kind of, like shows how different all of it could
have been. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for joining the podcast and explaining and talking that over with me.
Yeah.
What was the best part of the series that you liked the best?
The whole series? I'm not a good pick the favorite. Like I can't pick a favorite anything.
Me either.
I can confirm they don't pick the favorite on anything.
No, no, there's not, like, literally all of the things of who I am are not one thing. I'm not one nothing. But I definitely, like favorite food, that's maybe, like, favorite pasta. That's how
Let's narrow it down a little. There you go.
It needs to get. And that's what I can give an answer to. So, I feel like for this season, I really love Janine in the end.
Me too. I question, like, her getting they just throw her at June's feet, 5 minutes before the season's supposed to end, and then we're not supposed to wonder what the hell happened to her.
Yeah. I feel like it was just so much that had to be put in there because, like, there were so many things to, like, close up. And they really wanted people to have, like, a lot of the emotional closure.
I kind of felt like the last episode wasn't as good as the hype for it being. I thought the best episode in the whole season was 9.
Yeah, no, and I think that is a part of it. Like, the most epic kind of peak, you would say, of the season was 9. Right. And 10 is really almost kind of like what you would think of an epilogue. Like, it's like
exactly
the closing, kind of like, okay, so this is what it now is going to be. This is what it looks like. This is this person and that person's stories. But definitely 9 was like what had a lot of the action. But I really loved like it was pretty intense when June was like hung.
That was so crazy. Me and Dad were just like, they're really gonna hang a bitch.
Yeah, no, and is like anybody gonna cut her down? I love that they brought Emily back just for a bit.
Oh yes,
just for because she left the show. Like, she couldn't after she said, like, after she had kids she couldn't handle it emotionally.
That's what I read about.
And so she had like left, but they even gave like the closing of
the only unresolved thing that I thought was unresolved that I wish they would have done was, do you remember that girl who played, like, she was a wife, but she was like 15 years old?
That's the girl that I was telling you about that was running the homestead.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. I wish they would have done something with her.
Yeah. No, and that's so I was saying that she was the one that was like later became a handmaid and was so full of fight. And it kind of, yeah, like left us there and never brought it back. And I was seeing in the comments that people were, saying that that's kind of like the point, though, is that not everyone's story gets a finish. Not every person's story is heard. Not every experience can be, there's so many stories that go untold.
Yeah.
And because I mean, like this is Boston. Like pretty much all of it is Boston and DC. Like you're not seeing people from really anywhere else, and there's a whole ass country that they're in. So what do you, I mean, you could show a story of what it looked like in California, what the Handmaids looked like in Texas. Like I don't know, I just think of, because like Utah Mormons versus Mormons anywhere else, like there's like a different kind of vibe. So I think that in this world it would be just as like logical that like certain places
were different. Well, they showed that difference when June and Aunt Lydia went to DC and the girls had their mouths sewn closed.
Yeah, it showed a place. So
that's definitely
Yeah, but like how many other places are there? And all of those human stories that don't ever get told. Like I mean, Anne Frank, right? Anne Frank, like versus all of the Jews who experienced turmoil and suffering and imprisonment, like all of those things that like you only know Anne Frank. Like there may be a few more names or something but like that's the name that people know, and how many stories are there of that?
How many stories, that
untold.
She has to encompass,
you're getting one perspective, and so many people's, like they don't get their story told, or their story doesn't get to finish, or there is unresolvement in trauma, like history trauma.
So what are we gonna watch next?
I was literally browsing, trying to figure out. I've finished 4 series this week.
Yeah, like we did Survivor last week, got all caught up, and it ended last week. And then this week was all about The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, finished The Handmaid's Tale, finished The Umbrella Academy, finished what there is of Yellow Jackets.
How about The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either. I know nothing about it. I'm just wondering what that one is all about.
Yeah, I mean, that's real stories too.
Isn't that what it's called?
I don't know. It has Mormon wives in the title, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Be interested just to watch it, just to see what they get right and what they get wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, people have different experiences as well, but
yeah.
I feel like those are like real people's testaments though, right? I don't know. I'm excited for the testaments though. Like, when is that coming out? Apparently they're already recording it.
Yes, like someone said 2026.
Okay. That's not too bad. I feel like it's good because it's like
The Last of Us. We finished The Last of Us this week too. So 5.
That was last week technically.
That was Sunday.
Tristan told me a story when we were there for Dakota's birthday about the jumping spiders that are wandering around in the house. And I'll tell you what, like, I love you guys to death, but I probably will never stay at your house again
anymore.
We found the tarantula
and we did find the tarantula, the one that's been missing. We found him.
For like
he was not doing good. But he was alive, and that was very surprising.
I was the one that found him. I was not doing good either.
No, he was like, right? Okay. And he was like, "You have to come to me. I will not get any close."
That is too funny.
He was like in the hallway downstairs, like, and like Kota had ran through there, like to get the cat's bowls or something. And when he came back the other way, he was like, "Ah!" And like it was just like in the
tarantula
fucking
on the wall.
like
No, that is like one of my nightmares.
But I have all of the tarantulas very secure now. I put them in new things so none of them can get stepped
What
on.
about the jumping
And
spiders
we have
that
no jumping spiders. The person who lived with us no longer lives with us, right? And those jumping spiders went along with that person.
away from the house?
Yeah. But for anybody who's listening, the story that she mentions is, well, because jumping spiders, when they get pregnant, they can preserve some of their pregnancy. So, like, they can, like, lay a sac that's, like, a fifth of what is, like, fertilized. And so after they're done with that brood, they'll, like, brood another, like, make another brood, and they get released. Yeah, they're mini little baby jumping spiders, and they would travel across the ceiling. And
Like an orc horde from Lord of the Rings coming from Mordor.
And I feel like, no, it was like somebody came over who was like afraid of tarantulas, and I was like looking up, and I was like, are you afraid of spiders? She was like, why? And I was like, oh, no reason. No reason. Like, then there's not one like
Curious.
ding down from the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
And she got the fuck up and moved somewhere else and was like, you can't just talk about spiders like that. And I was like, yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
The spiders are terrifying.
I forgot to recap the spider I found. I did put that in my weekly update.
Tristan was laughing so hard when he told me that story.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because he's afraid of tarantulas, spiders as well. So he's like laughing because
I said I was gonna be the one to fucking find him. I called that shit.
I'm just glad he was alive, but yeah, he was definitely like very thirsty, very skinny, and like
he was not doing okay.
Terrifying. I'm sorry, it's terrifying.
I mean, I just see it as like we all have spiders within 5 feet of us at all times, every single person, especially like, you know, in places that are like not Antarctica. There's gonna be spiders, so at least I know where mine are.
Good point.
They're enclosed and identified. I know what it is. I know what it'll do to me. Now, if I see a little brown spider and I don't know how to identify what it is, that makes me feel different than like a tarantula that like I know.
I have to tell you that my work, they just did a new planter for this season, and it's a planter. I'll have to send you a picture next time I'm in the office, but it's a RV with succulents sprouting out the top of it. It's so stinking cute. I love it so much. Dennis usually doesn't like me to spend money on plants and stuff because he says I'll just kill them. But I know how to keep a succulent alive.
Yeah, no, the variegated like little cacti that you were looking at, they were like, oh my gosh, this thing is so beautiful. And I was like, that thing's like $80. Do you remember those? They're like red and like white, like different colored cacti.
Oh, yeah.
Like little balls.
Mm-hmm.
So they're releasing them in Walmarts. For
like really? Like an amaryllis plant?
Oh, I'm not talking about the bulb. I'm talking about like cactus that...
okay.
I'll send you the pictures of them, but they're like, yeah, like they've been very, very expensive and like unattainable, but they are becoming
more available.
Yeah, so you should see them in Walmarts there soon.
Cool.
I was gonna pick one out for you, so
and send it over because I need something. I've kept my wandering Jew plant. That's the name of the plant. Is surviving now.
Yeah.
It sprouted extra little leaves, and I was like, woo!
People call it a wandering dude. Okay.
No, wandering Jew, Jew.
No, and I'm saying that is not
the appropriate name for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, its scientific name is a Tradescantia, but people call it like an inch plant.
An inch plant.
The like common name for it, inch plant. But instead of that name that people really love, they call it a wandering dude.
Wandering dude instead of... I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like close enough that it doesn't... You're not taking the fun out of it. You're just taking the light.
And that's really pretty. And then my one plant, it just seems to want to jump out of the soil, but I'm working on it.
Well, I mean, that's pruning. Pruning is good. You trim it and then regrow the roots and put that back in the pot and do that.
It's one of those, what do they call it? It's not an inch plant because that's my wandering dude one. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry.
So like a spider plant?
Yes, a spider plant. That's
that's
exactly what it is.
Yeah. They're hallucinogenic to cats.
Are they?
Yeah, so that's what I have those on the ground all over the house for the cats to eat so they don't eat my plants.
Oh, that's too cool.
Yeah. And I also let them get a little high because they like it.
Little high.
They do. And I mean, it gives them like the fiber that they would from grass too. So I mean, it's a multi-purpose
Yeah.
plant. Yeah, no, I mean, their roots get huge, so it might just be like in too small of a pot. It might want a bigger pot, and so it's trying to like leave because that pot is not doing it. Okay, I'm gonna give the mic back to Kota.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice speaking to you. I love you.
I love you.
Did you have every single cat in your room there just now?
No, we were missing Lucy, and I haven't seen Lucy at all today, but her and Enzo broke out in hives Tuesday night. We got this new... I was at a work picnic, and they were doing raffles, and I won a brand new expensive igloo coolers, a bunch of our bass fishing gear, a new fishing pole, a bunch of snacks, a pack of beer, and this really soft blanket. And the soft blanket the cats have been all about, and we didn't think anything of it, but they ended up like having an allergic reaction. Just the littles, just Enzo and Lucy had a reaction to the blanket.
Oh, no.
And they
Did you
broke
try
out.
washing it and see if that fixed it?
Yeah, we've washed it since then, but they like, do you remember my eczema when it get really bad? It was bumpy and scabby.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's what it looked like they had, was eczema really bad. So
Oh,
we've given...
is that Lucy?
No, that's Enzo. I thought he
Oh.
ran out of here. How the fuck did you get back in here? Maybe a parent opened the door. I don't know. I just live here. He's chilling though, huh? Come on. But yeah, so we're trying to heal them from that. We've given them several baths this week, which, I don't know, have you ever tried to bathe a cat, Mama?
No.
Yeah, no, it's about as much fun as you think it would be. Yeah, it's a great time. I love it every time. And with hairless cats, you have to bathe them regularly because their hair doesn't pull away their oils that their body makes.
Yeah.
And it can give them infections and whatnot. So, but I still love them. All right. Did you get your fill of your Handmaid's Tale and all the other conversation?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have never watched the Handmaid's Tale, so I don't know. Okay, that's a lie. I've watched the first 3 seasons. I've watched up until the one gal that gets her clit cut off goes into like a digging camp or something like that. That's as far as I've gotten. And then I was like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah, a little bit. But it really adds to the story of what happens to her.
Yeah, are you happy with... I didn't get to hear you. Are you happy with the ending?
I was. I think that they could have not had the last episode. I thought that however, the last episode tied up everything. And Rin made a really good point that, not everybody's story gets to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very poignant, which is the truth when it comes to, a dystopian society.
That and long series, you forget what happens in these earlier episodes when you're in season 7. You know what I mean? It's hard to It's hard to keep it straight sometimes. So you're wish-washy about it, though. Okay. All right, guys. I think we are going to call it here. Glad you guys finally got to hear Rin's voice there. That is my life partner there. Sorry, I had a couple of drinks while these guys were talking, so I'm kind of shit-faced. I'm glad Mom wanted to call it. If you don't do anything, guys, just remember to please drink your water and talk to your therapist. Mama, you got anything else?
Nope. Have a good one.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.